Absolutely. Yeah. So I survived the borderline bar and grill shooting in Thousand Oaks, California. And afterwards, I was really gifted to have a community around me that was very supportive of me finding what I needed to be able to get back to a good spot. And
Mhm.
so, pretty quickly after the shooting, within about 48 hours, I was speaking to a psychologist and starting to work
Mhm.
on those baseline elements. But I think what I noticed over time is that I was functioning. I was back in society again. I was going to work. I was doing things, but I didn't feel like it had truly healed. Like I didn't feel
Mm.
like I was gonna be in a spot. I was told a lot that there's a new normal, that there's gonna be a new normal, and you're just gonna have to deal with this the rest of your life, and it's never gonna.
Ah,
But over time, I started to realize like this isn't enough. This isn't where I want to be for the rest of my
yeah.
life. And I had a really powerful experience um, with my dad. He responded to the Columbine High School tragedy,
Right.
and the 20-year mark of the tragedy was 4 months after when I experienced mine. And so I was
Right.
able to see very viscerally what 20 years down the line looks like.
Right.
But I did get to see many, many different experiences and where people were at. And it put a fire under me to
Mm.
get into a spot where I was experiencing post traumatic growth, because I saw all these incredible people from that community who had actually experienced post traumatic growth. About a year went by where I was starting to notice like I'm diving into working with a psychologist, and she was incredible, but it wasn't like I was getting truly back to where I was pre-shooting, and I definitely wasn't growing.
Mm.
And so I started looking into emotional freedom technique.
Mm.
Um, and then I found a practitioner. So I had been 2 years of trying to get my life back together and build up from this, what felt like rock
Mm.
bottom for me. And in
Mhm.
one session with her, it felt like 2 years worth of work was done in a 2 hour session, which I think is what's so cool about EFT is it not only got me out of a hole I didn't even realize I was in. It's helped me. That post traumatic growth is my story now.
Right.
It's not just a dream. It's how I'm living my life. And I think what I would tell somebody who's trying to make a decision about funding or exploring this as an option is that when you think about it from a business perspective, if it is only a session and a half that's going to let somebody have their life back, and not only have their life back, but grow and become a force for good in this world as a result of
Mhm.
tragedy, that is a significantly better investment than years of therapy that might not solve the issue. I had latched on this idea of a new normal, that I was never going to not have this carrying it around with me. And to be on the other side now and realize that that does not have to define me was one of the most freeing moments of my life.
Uh,
And I think giving people that opportunity, that's what public service is, right?
Yeah.
It's taking care of your constituents, and um, it's being of service to those people. And I
If
think
we scale from 0 to 10, how much, if 10 is 100% better?
if zero was my starting point, like day one after the shooting,
Yeah.
and 2 years later maybe I was at a 5 or a 6, I would say I
Mm.
probably got to a 9 after
Wow.
the session, if not a 10. The only reason I don't say 10 is because I think the cleanup was important, that second
Sure.
session. And I
Okay, the
think that
second
stuff,
session you were a 10.
yeah, but
It's a little
yes,
like I keep getting this image of do I have to live my life on crutches and I can
right,
cope with my whatever reason, or I can throw away the crutches and walk with a
right.
normal gait.
I
Say
would
that.
say that's absolutely accurate. Yeah. And
Well,
the
that
thing
must.
that is
Mhm.
incredible to me is I didn't realize how much I was coping.
Y- y-
I didn't even realize I was on crutches. Seeing the difference it made, I was like, why doesn't
That's
everybody do this? Because I think the most powerful thing for me as I reflect is I didn't make the choice to experience what I experienced. But in
mm,
going through EFT, I now have the choice to how I react to what happened to me. And it doesn't get to define me anymore.
oh, I oh, that's great. Wow.
Thank you.
That there you go. Wow.
And thank you for the work you're doing, because I think everybody should have the opportunity to do this, especially when they've experienced trauma. So you're fighting the good fight, and I want to help in whatever way I can.
That is the goal. We're pretty passionate about it.